welcome back to the Treble Clef Project. I'm Saanvi, I'm the director of Interp, and today we're going to be going into how to characterize your characters, which is kind of a tongue twister, but that's what we're going to be going over today. So, hopefully by now you have kind of like a cut speech if you're watching the videos in order. So you should have somewhat of a cut speech that has a easy storyline to follow with some comedic scenes. This is specifically for humorous Interp. And so when you want to characterize any of the characters you have in your script, the first thing you want to do is do a character analysis. What is a character analysis? So in a character analysis, you want to, in a way, based on what you're reading from the lines, figure out some context and information about the character. Now, it doesn't have to be explicitly said within the lines, but you should be able to figure it out based on what you're reading and what the tone sounds of the character. So in a character analysis, you want to kind of pick each character apart so you know how best to characterize them in the future. So you can ask yourself some questions on what your character is like who am I? If you are the character, who am I? What do I like to do? So for example, for who am I? Do I have siblings? What's my favorite color? What type of music do I listen to? Stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of this is not going to be said within the lines, but that's why you want to do the character analysis, so you really know your character, so you can best perform them in the way that you interpret. Now, there's no there's no correct answer, obviously, because it's humorous interpretation. So, but depending on how you interpret your character, for the script I'm doing this year, my main character is a very mischievous, kind of dramatic type of character, so that's based on that I answered questions. So for example, again, what is my favorite color? What type of music do I listen to? How do I smell? Am I a hygienic person, or do I lay on the couch and not take showers for days? Kind of weird things like that. What do I like? And then you also want to do what do I look like? What is my complexion? What's my body type? These will all help you later when you're trying to create stances for your character. And so you really want to figure out what your character is like. Sorry, I'm looking at some notes here. So that you can understand what your character will become in the future. And so another very important part of your character, and this is more the performance aspect, so after you've done your character analysis, you want to get into how, based on the analysis, how are you going to perform your character. So first thing you want to do is the voices. I kind of did briefly go over this in the last video, but this one I'll probably be going deeper today. You want to figure out what the voice will be for the character. Now, for example, after your character analysis, you're realizing that your character acts very confident, but is for example, a lot more scared on the inside. So you want to make a voice that fits that. So for example, for the very confident voice, you can make it very low, and he always talks like this, he's very loud, something like that for the character, right? Or but when they're actually scared, you can make them say they're talking to another character they're more open with, more vulnerable with. So you can, I'm actually a very scared person. Even though I act all confident, I'm actually a very scared person. You want to kind of, based on the scene, you want to make sure that the voice is adaptable, so then you really understand that character. So you want to say, for example, the character is from Europe, so you might want to do an accent because that's where the character is from. That's part of the character's identity. And so voices will really establish the demeanor and then give the audience something to listen to. Maybe they don't see that you popped into a different character, but they hear it. So it should be a lot. Your voice should be, for one character, should be different from others. And the thing is, the most important thing about voices is your tone, your pitch, and your diction, especially your diction. The if the audience can't understand what you're saying, the diction, your speech is like, your character will not make sense, because the words are probably the most important. That's what's going to help the audience understand the storyline and stuff. So if you don't have good diction, which is honestly even something I still have to work on a lot, like, regardless of what voice you choose, even if it's like a beautiful accent, if it's not understandable, it's not really worth it. So you want to maybe look into accents that you know you're good at, or voices like, talking like this, like maybe that's something you're good at. Or like, for example, I can't talk very low, so that's not something I choose to do because it makes it hard for the audience to understand. So you want to figure out what you can do, maybe what you're willing to learn. Like, I'm trying to learn a New York accent. Like, you want to figure out what you can do, what you're willing to learn, and what will be the most understandable. And then after, like, and I'll give an example. Like, for my character this year, my main character, he's a very, like, proper dude. Like, he sounds very proper. He's sometimes he's very dramatic. So, like, say, for example, if I'm saying, like, hello, I am Saanvi. Like, the character would be like, hello, I am Saanvi. Obviously I added, like, facial expressions, but, like, the character is very, like, proper. He's, like, confident. He's, like, that's, like, what I found from the character analysis and what I decided to put into the character. And then now you want to, after you figure out voices for each of your characters, you want to move on to stances. Stances are also very important because it gives the audience something to physically look for between each character. Now, for stances, sometimes you want to play with stances that work with the storyline. Like, for example, if it's a comedy, like a murder mystery comedy HI, right? Maybe the person is going to get poisoned, so you might want to have them hold a cup and, like, just stand with the cup the whole time until, like, and then just in between lines just go and then keep talking, right? So you want to play with, like, what the script is giving you, and then based off of that figure out stances. Now, again, like, moving back to, like, a very confident character, they might stand with their, like, chest puffed out or their shoulders back, or they might always just, like, do that or something, like, really awkward, funny things that seem weird when you're just practicing, but will make the character very funny and also show what the character is like. And so that's really important. So just depending on, again, it's really based on the character analysis. Again, it could be really timid, or always playing with their hair or something, or, like, twirling their hair if it's like a popular character, like, always twirling the hair. Like, you want to really play with what that character is. And lastly, you want to do facial expressions. Now, facial expressions is kind of an iffy thing because a lot of times they change throughout the script. If the character is, like, sad for a little bit, but then they're all happy, obviously their facial expression is going to change, right? But you want to keep, maybe for one or two characters, a consistent facial expression. Like, for example, if there's a character who tends to be very scared, now obviously depending on scenes, their facial expression might change. But if they tend to be really scared, they might always have their, like, their eyebrows together, or they might, like, twitch, which is also kind of like a body stance, like twitching or something, You want to add little quirks to each character. So, like, or, like, for, again, that, like, very confident character, he could always go, like, or, like, always, like, look like this and look super determined or something. Again, it looks really weird right now, but, like, it's really gonna pay off in the end. So, but again, facial expressions, not too crazy. You should have facial expressions, but again, it's okay if they change depending on the scene. So, but again, the character analysis is the most important thing. It's the first step you want to do. You're going to learn so much about your character. You should know by the end like if your character, what your character is like scared of. Does your character, like, I don't know, sleep on their back or sleep on their side? You know, you should go that deep into your character that you can, in a way, embody them when you're performing, that you are that certain character. Don't go too overboard. You don't want their, like, say if they have like any emotional stresses to go on you, but like you should really understand your character. Does your character have AirPods or do they have wired earbuds? You know, weird stuff like that, but you should understand your character very, very deeply. And I'll put some questions that you can ask about your character in the description, but that's all for today. Go subscribe to the Treble Clef channel because it's awesome. And thank you for watching. Bye, guys.